The quantum anomaly detector at the Siberian Deep Space Observatory buzzed to life at exactly 3:47 a.m. Moscow time. Admiral Viktor Petrov, commander of Earth's United Defense Force, stood before the massive holographic display as Dr. Alina Kovacs frantically analyzed the incoming data. The signal was unlike anything they had ever encountered, a perfect mathematical sequence that couldn't possibly be natural. "This is deliberate communication," Dr. Kovacs announced, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "But the energy signature, it's massive. Whatever's generating this signal has power capabilities far beyond our current technology." Admiral Petrov's weathered face remained stoic, but his eyes betrayed concern. 30 years of military service had taught him to trust his instincts, and right now, every fiber of his being screamed danger. How long until source identification? Before Alina could answer, the observatory's proximity alarms blared. The holographic display erupted with new data as hundreds of objects dropped out of faster-than-light travel just beyond Mars' orbit. The objects were massive, the smallest rivaling Earth's largest naval vessels. "Multiple contacts," Lieutenant Raj Patel shouted from his monitoring station. "Count exceeding 300 vessels, energy signatures matching the original signal." Admiral Petrov activated the Global Defense Network with a single command. Around the world, military installations switched to high alert as the first images of the alien fleet reached Earth. The vessels were elegant yet menacing, their dark hulls absorbing what little sunlight reached them, making them appear like holes in space itself. The message arrived on every communications channel simultaneously. A voice that seemed to slide between mechanical and organic spoke in perfect English. "People of Earth, hear the words of High Commander Zexther of the Galactic Empire. Your world has been chosen for integration into our dominion. Resistance is inadvisable. You have one planetary rotation to surrender your governing authorities." The global response was immediate and unified. Years of science fiction had prepared humanity for this possibility, and countless contingency plans sprang into action. Admiral Petrov connected with his counterparts across the globe, Chinese General Wei Chang, American Admiral Jessica Hayes, and others, as the United Earth Defense Council convened in record time. In the observatory's command center, Dr. Kovacs made a crucial discovery. The energy signatures from their ships, they're creating quantum disturbances similar to our experimental shield technology. But there's a pattern to it, a weakness we might exploit. The Council's decision was unanimous. Humanity would not surrender. The Xylarian response was swift and brutal. The alien fleet launched its first strike against military installations, expecting to cripple Earth's defenses in one decisive blow. But humanity had a surprise of its own. Hidden quantum shield generators, the product of a secret global initiative, sprang to life around key facilities and population centers. The shields weren't perfect. Some installations were lost in the initial barrage, but they bought precious time. Admiral Petrov coordinated with Dr. Kovacs to analyze the attack patterns while directing countermeasures. Earth's conventional weapons seemed ineffective against Xylarian shields, but each hit provided valuable data. "Their shield frequency adjusts in predictable patterns," Alina explained, her voice tight with concentration. "If we can synchronize our attacks with these fluctuations." The first successful counterstrike came from an unlikely source. A small squadron of Russian fighters, led by Captain Nikolai Volkov, managed to slip through a gap in the Xylarian shields. Their conventional missiles found vulnerable spots in the alien vessel's armor, causing significant damage. The victory was small but crucial proof that the invaders weren't invincible. As the first day of combat drew to a close, humanity had suffered losses but remained unbowed. Admiral Petrov stood in the observatory's command center, watching as the Xylarian fleet regrouped for another assault. Dr. Kovacs worked tirelessly with her team, analyzing every piece of data from the battles. "They underestimated us," Petrov said quietly. "They expected us to break at the first show of force. Instead, we've proven ourselves worthy opponents." Alina looked up from her work, her eyes bright with determination. They don't understand human nature. We've spent our entire history fighting against overwhelming odds. It's not just about technology, it's about will, about the spirit to survive and protect what's ours. As if to punctuate her words, reports began flowing in from around the globe. Resistance cells were forming in occupied territories. Scientists worldwide were collaborating on weapons development. The Galactic Empire had struck first, but humanity's retaliation was just beginning. Admiral Petrov sent out a global broadcast. To all Earth Defense Forces, hold the line. We have survived everything our own world has thrown at us, natural disasters, wars, plagues. We will survive this. We will not bow to any empire, no matter how advanced. Today, we fight not as nations, but as one species, united in the defense of our home. The Zalarian fleet loomed in the night sky, their ships casting ominous shadows on the Earth below. But in research facilities, military bases, and makeshift resistance headquarters around the world, humanity prepared for the long fight ahead. The initial strike had failed to break Earth's spirit. Instead, it had awakened a determination that would shake the foundations of the Galactic Empire. 3 weeks into the invasion, the ruins of Tokyo's financial district had become an unlikely command center for the Asian resistance. Commander Hideki Tanaka crouched in the basement of a partially collapsed skyscraper, studying holographic maps of Zylarian patrol patterns. Beside him, tech specialist Olivia Santos manipulated the data streams coming from thousands of civilian devices repurposed as surveillance equipment. "They're creatures of habit," Olivia observed, highlighting the regular routes of alien patrols. "Their military doctrine relies heavily on precision and predictability. It's their weakness." Tanaka nodded, his expression grim. "And our strength lies in chaos. Have the new jammers been distributed?" "All resistance cells in the region are equipped," Olivia confirmed. "Dr. Kovacs's quantum frequency analysis was the breakthrough we needed. The jammers won't stop their weapons completely, but they'll disrupt their targeting systems enough to give our people a fighting chance." Above them, the heavy footsteps of Zylarian patrol mechs echoed through the streets. The aliens had quickly learned that their biological troops were vulnerable to Earth's atmosphere and gravity, leading them to rely increasingly on mechanical units for ground control. In the cramped space that served as their command center, dozens of resistance fighters worked tirelessly. They had come from all walks of life, former soldiers, hackers, engineers, and ordinary citizens who refused to submit to alien rule. Each brought unique skills that contributed to humanity's unconventional warfare strategy. "Commander," a young resistance fighter called out, "incoming transmission from the European front." The holographic display shifted to show the face of Major Hans Weber, coordinating resistance efforts from the Black Forest. "Tanaka, the Berlin Gambit worked. We've successfully replicated the virus that Santos developed. When their mechs tried to interface with our captured communication nodes, it scrambled their control systems. We've got dozens of their units literally walking in circles." Olivia allowed herself a small smile. The virus had been her creation, based on her understanding of the aliens' quantum-based communication protocols. It wasn't a devastating weapon, but it proved that humanity could find ways to fight back against superior technology. The Resistance's greatest advantage was its decentralized nature. While the Zalarians controlled the skies and many major cities, they couldn't be everywhere. Small teams of fighters struck quickly and disappeared into underground bunkers or the wilderness, aided by a population that had become expert at hiding and supporting resistance operations. "New contact," another operator announced. "Multiple Zylarian dropships approaching the Osaka sector." Tanaka's eyes narrowed. "They're changing their pattern, Olivia." She was already analyzing the data. The jamming fields must be forcing them to adjust. They're trying to establish a tighter control grid, but... She paused, her eyes widening. "Commander, they're leaving gaps in their coverage if we time this right." "Send word to all cells in the sector," Tanaka ordered. "Operation Ghostwalker begins in 30 minutes." Across the region, resistance fighters emerged from hiding places with electromagnetic pulse weapons, crude but effective devices that could temporarily disable Zalarian technology. The plan was simple but dangerous. Create enough chaos to draw their forces into predictable response patterns, then strike at their temporary command centers. As the operation unfolded, Olivia coordinated with other tech specialists worldwide. Similar attacks were being launched across the globe, each tailored to local conditions and resources. In the Amazon, indigenous guides led strikes against alien supply lines. In the mountains of Afghanistan, guerrilla fighters used their generations of experience to ambush Xylarian patrols. Multiple EMP detonations confirmed, reported a resistance operator. Xylarian response units are moving exactly as predicted. Tanaka watched as the holographic display showed enemy forces converging on the apparent threats. Begin Phase 2. All units, execute according to plan. Across Tokyo, hidden resistance cells emerged from sewers and abandoned buildings. They struck not at the Xylarian response forces, but at the temporary command centers left relatively undefended. Years of urban warfare experience combined with intimate knowledge of the city's layout gave the human fighters a crucial advantage. "Sir," Olivia called out, "Beijing resistance reports similar success. They've captured intact Xylarian communication nodes. Our understanding of their technology improves with each engagement." The aliens had expected to face a defeated population or, at worst, uncoordinated resistance. Instead, they found themselves fighting an enemy that learned and adapted with terrible efficiency. Every failed attack taught humanity something new. Every captured piece of technology was studied, and where possible, repurposed. As reports of successes and losses poured in, Tanaka received an encrypted message from Admiral Petrov. Operation Ghostwalker confirmed successful across multiple theaters. Begin preparation for Phase Omega. Tanaka shared a meaningful look with Olivia. Phase Omega was something only a handful of resistance leaders knew about, a plan so audacious it seemed impossible. But after weeks of fighting, impossible had become a relative term. "Send acknowledgement to command," Tanaka ordered. "And get me a secure line to Dr. Williams at the Quantum Research Facility. It's time to show the Xylarians that humanity has some surprises of our own." As night fell over Tokyo, the resistance fighters returned to their hidden bases, carrying with them captured alien technology and valuable combat experience. In similar scenes around the world, humanity's underground war continued. They couldn't match the Xylarians in open combat, but they were mastering the art of asymmetric warfare on a global scale. The aliens had the advantage in technology and firepower, but humanity had something they couldn't quantify or counter: an unbreakable will to survive and the ability to turn every defeat into a lesson for future victories. The resistance wasn't just fighting for survival, they were fighting for the right to determine their own destiny. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice, in a facility unknown to all but a select few, Dr. Marcus Williams stood before a towering quantum reactor. The machine's crystalline core pulsed with an otherworldly blue light, each burst perfectly synchronized with the Xylarian shield frequencies that Dr. Kovacs had discovered. "The containment field is holding at 98% efficiency," reported Dr. Yuki Nakamura, the facility's lead engineer. She monitored an array of holographic displays showing the reactor's quantum state. "The entanglement cascade is stable." Marcus nodded, his dark eyes reflecting the reactor's glow. For 15 years, he had led Project Oracle, a classified international effort to develop quantum-based defensive technology. What had started as theoretical research had become humanity's greatest hope for survival. "Admiral Petrov, are you receiving the test data?" Marcus asked, his voice carrying through the secure quantum communication link. "Confirmed," came the Admiral's reply. "Dr. Kovacs is analyzing it now, but we need to move faster. The Xylarians are adapting to our resistance tactics. They're bringing in reinforcements." The pressure was immense. While resistance fighters around the world bought them time with blood and courage, the scientists of Project Oracle worked to complete a weapon that could change the course of the war. The quantum reactor wasn't just a power source. It was the key to understanding and manipulating the same fundamental forces that the Xylarians used in their technology. Dr. Williams, a young physicist, Dr. Raj Mehta, burst into the control room. We've detected a new pattern in the Zalarian fleet movements. They're not just bringing in reinforcements, they're reconfiguring their entire defense grid. Marcus rushed to examine the data. The alien ships were indeed moving into new formations, creating complex geometric patterns in orbit. They're building something, he realized. A planetary containment field. The implications were clear. The Zalarians, frustrated by humanity's continued resistance, were preparing to trap Earth in a quantum barrier that would cut off all access to space and potentially control the planet's climate. How long? Admiral Petrov demanded. At their current rate, 72 hours, Raj calculated. Once it's complete, our options become severely limited. Marcus made a decision that would either save humanity or doom it. Admiral, we need to initiate Project Oracle now. The reactor isn't fully tested, but we're out of time. In the facility's lower levels, engineers and technicians rushed to prepare the quantum reactor for full activation. The plan was audacious. Create a controlled quantum entanglement field that would interface with the Zalarians' own technology, turning their greatest strength into a vulnerability. Dr. Nakamura coordinated the preparations, her usual calm demeanor intense with focus. We're routing power from the geothermal taps, quantum coherence at 60% and rising. Around the world, resistance cells received encrypted orders to plant quantum resonance devices, small but crucial components that would help extend the reactor's effect globally. These devices, disguised as debris or integrated into existing infrastructure, had been quietly distributed over the previous weeks. Coherence at 80%, Yuki announced. Quantum field stabilizing. Marcus opened a secure channel to all resistance commands. This is Dr. Williams. When we activate the reactor, you'll have a narrow window to strike. The quantum field will temporarily disrupt their shields and communications. Make every shot count. In orbit, the Zalarian ships continued their methodical arrangement, unaware of what was building beneath the ice. Their confidence in their technological superiority had prevented them from detecting the true nature of Project Oracle. Coherence at 95%, Yuki reported. Ready for activation on your command. Marcus looked at the faces around him, scientists and engineers from dozens of nations, united in purpose. Admiral Petrov, signal all commands. Project Oracle initiates in 5 minutes. The quantum reactor's hum deepened as final power adjustments were made. In bunkers and hidden bases around the world, resistance fighters prepared for what could be their last, best chance at victory. 3 minutes, Yuki counted down. Quantum field reaching critical resonance. Through the command channel, Marcus heard Commander Tanaka's voice from Tokyo. All Asian resistance cells report ready. Major Weber from Europe. European forces in position. Similar confirmations came from every continent. Humanity stood poised to strike back with everything they had. 1 minute, Yuki announced. Quantum coherence at maximum sustainable levels. Marcus took a deep breath. May our calculations be correct, he murmured, then spoke clearly into the global command channel. All units prepare for initial quantum pulse. Impact in 30 seconds. The reactor's crystalline core blazed brighter, its light seeming to bend in impossible ways as it manipulated the fabric of reality itself. In orbit, the Zalarian ships continued their precise movements, still unaware of what was about to happen. Quantum pulse releasing in 10, 9, 8. The fate of Earth hung on what would happen in the next few moments. Either the quantum pulse would work as designed, or humanity would lose its last, best hope for victory. 3, 2, 1. The quantum reactor unleashed its power, and the war entered its final phase. The quantum pulse rippled through space like a silent tsunami. For a fraction of a second, every electronic device on Earth flickered. Then, high above the planet, the impossible happened. The mighty shields of the Zalarian fleet wavered and fell. General Diana Rodriguez, commanding Earth's combined space defense force from the hidden base in the Andes Mountains, didn't waste a second. All units, execute Operation Thunderstrike. I repeat, Thunderstrike is go. Across the globe, humanity's carefully hidden aerospace forces launched their coordinated attack. Fighters emerged from underground hangars, submarines surfaced to launch missiles, and orbital defense platforms that had been playing dead suddenly activated. Multiple direct hits confirmed, reported Colonel Jackson from the North American Command. Their ships are vulnerable. In the Antarctic facility, Dr. Williams and his team worked frantically to maintain the quantum field. The entanglement effect is holding, Dr. Nakamura announced, her fingers dancing across holographic controls. But the Zalarians are already attempting to adapt their shield frequencies. General Rodriguez watched as the battle unfolded on her tactical display. The element of surprise had given Earth's forces a crucial advantage, but the Zalarians were far from defeated. Their ships, though temporarily vulnerable, were still technological marvels of destruction. Secondary Zalarian fleet detected, warned Lieutenant Maria Gonzalez, radar specialist. They're emerging from behind the moon. The alien reinforcements had been hidden there, waiting for the completion of the containment field. Now they rushed to support their compromised comrades, but they too found their shields disrupted by the quantum pulse. In orbit, Squadron Leader Khalil Hassan led the first wave of Earth space fighters, aircraft modified with captured Zalarian technology. "All wings, form up on me," he commanded. "Remember your training. Their ships may be bigger, but we're more maneuverable. Use that to your advantage." The space around Earth erupted in chaos as human fighters engaged Zalarian vessels. The aliens' superior technology was partially negated by the quantum disruption, forcing them to fight on more equal terms. Humanity's pilots, trained in atmospheric combat, proved remarkably adaptable to space warfare. Multiple Zalarian capital ships are attempting emergency quantum jumps, reported Colonel Jackson. The disruption field is causing their jump calculations to fail. They're trapped in normal space. General Rodriguez allowed herself a grim smile. Just as Dr. Williams predicted, all commands execute Phase 2, target their command and control nodes. Around the world, resistance fighters activated their quantum resonance devices, strengthening the disruption field in local areas. The devices, combined with the main quantum reactor, created a web of interference that prevented the Zalarians from coordinating their forces effectively. In the Tokyo sector, Commander Tanaka led a daring raid on a grounded Zalarian command ship. Santos, status of their internal defenses. "Quantum disruption is affecting their security systems," Olivia replied through the comm. "You have a clear path to their engine core." The resistance fighters moved swiftly through the alien vessel, planting charges at crucial points. Similar scenes played out wherever Zalarian ships had established ground bases. The aliens found themselves fighting a war on two fronts, in space and on the ground. Back in the Andes Command Center, General Rodriguez received an urgent communication from Admiral Petrov. "Diana, their flagship is changing position. They're attempting something big." The massive Zalarian vessel, easily the size of a small city, was indeed moving. Its hull began to glow with an ominous purple light, different from anything they'd seen before. "Energy spike detected," Dr. Williams' voice came through the quantum link. "They're trying to overload our disruption field with a massive quantum surge." General Rodriguez made a split-second decision. "All orbital units, concentrate fire on that flagship, everything you've got now." Earth's remaining orbital defense platforms, along with every available fighter and missile, turned their attention to the Zalarian flagship. The alien vessel's hull blazed brighter as it prepared to release its quantum surge. 10 seconds to quantum surge," Dr. Nakamura warned. "Maintain disruption field strength," Dr. Williams ordered. "If that surge breaks through, their shields will regenerate." The space around the Zalarian flagship became a storm of weapons fire. Human fighters made suicide runs, launching their payloads before breaking away at the last possible moment. Missiles and energy weapons converged on the massive vessel from all directions. 5 seconds. The flagship's hull began to crack under the sustained assault, but its purple glow intensified. 3 seconds. Squadron leader Hassan's voice crackled through the comm. For Earth! His fighter, damaged but still flying, made a final run at the flagship's command center. 1 second. The combined fire of humanity's weapons finally broke through. The Zalarian flagship's hull split open, its quantum surge dissipating harmlessly into space. The massive ship began to break apart, secondary explosions chaining through its structure. Flagship destroyed, multiple voices confirmed the kill. The loss of their flagship sent shockwaves through the Zalarian fleet. Their rigid command structure, already strained by the quantum disruption, began to collapse. Some ships attempted to retreat, only to find their quantum drives still inoperable. Others fought on, but without coordination, they became vulnerable to Earth's synchronized attacks. General Rodriguez opened a channel to all Earth forces. The enemy is in disarray. Press the advantage. Don't let them regroup. The battle was far from over, but for the first time since the invasion began, victory seemed possible. Humanity had taken the Zalarians' greatest strengths, their advanced technology and rigid organization, and turned them into weaknesses. As reports of successes poured in from around the globe, General Rodriguez allowed herself to think about the future. But she knew better than to celebrate too early. The Zalarians still had one card left to play, and the next few hours would determine the fate of both species. High Commander Zexther's final transmission reached Earth as the last remnants of his fleet burned in orbit. The message was different from the arrogant ultimatums that had preceded the invasion. This time, there was something new in the alien's voice: respect. Humans of Earth, the transmission began, you have proven yourselves worthy adversaries, but in your victory you must understand what you have inherited. Your world was not chosen by chance. You are now part of a greater conflict, one that spans galaxies. In the Antarctic facility, Dr. Williams and Admiral Petrov shared a concerned look as the message continued. The quantum reactor hummed steadily behind them, its blue glow illuminating their faces. The Galactic Empire is but one faction in a cosmic war, Zexther revealed. We sought your world not just for conquest, but for the ancient quantum technologies buried beneath your ice, technologies you have now awakened. Dr. Nakamura's instruments detected unusual readings from the quantum reactor. The resonance patterns are changing, she reported. It's as if the reactor is responding to his words. The High Commander's message continued. Your quantum weapon is not of your making, though you have proven worthy of its power. It was left here eons ago by those we call the predecessors. In unlocking its secrets, you have marked yourselves as their potential successors. Around the world, the remaining Zalarian forces began powering down their weapons. In orbit, General Rodriguez watched as alien ships transmitted surrender codes. But there was no celebration in her voice as she reported, multiple quantum anomalies detected in deep space. Something's coming. Dr. Williams worked frantically to understand the changing patterns in the reactor. The quantum field isn't just disrupting their technology, he realized. It's transforming it, integrating it with Earth's defense systems. This was its purpose all along. Admiral Petrov opened a channel to all commands. All forces maintain battle readiness. This may not be over. In Tokyo, Commander Tanaka and Olivia Santos detected new signals emerging from captured Zalarian databases. The encryption is falling away, Olivia reported. These aren't military codes, they're historical records, star charts, maps of quantum space lanes, everything the Empire knows about the predecessors. High Commander Zexther's final words carried a warning. You have proven your worth by defeating us, but greater challenges await. The predecessors' enemies still exist, and they will come, drawn by the power you have awakened. We offer our surrender, and with it, an alliance. Earth will need both its newfound power and our experience to survive what comes next. The quantum reactor's glow intensified, and Dr. Williams understood at last. This wasn't just a war for survival, he announced to the gathered leaders. It was a test. The reactor, the whole quantum defense system, it was designed to activate only if we proved ourselves capable of using it responsibly, of uniting as a species to defend our world. General Rodriguez's voice came through the command channel. Deep space sensors are picking up massive quantum disturbances, multiple objects approaching from the galactic core. In the Antarctic facility, Dr. Nakamura made a startling discovery. The quantum field is creating new configurations, defensive patterns we never programmed. It's as if it's preparing for something. Admiral Petrov stood before the global command screen, addressing all of Earth's forces. To all commands, the Xylarian surrender is accepted, but we maintain combat readiness. Humanity faces a new chapter in its history. We have proven ourselves capable of defending our world. Now we must prepare to defend our galaxy. Around the world, humans and their former enemies began a cautious collaboration. The Xylarian technology, no longer hindered by the quantum field, was integrated with Earth's defenses. Scientists from both species worked to understand the ancient quantum reactor and its true purpose. In orbit, General Rodriguez watched as the first diplomatic vessels from other alien factions appeared, drawn by news of Earth's victory and the awakening of the predecessor technology. Humanity had not just won a war, they had emerged onto a galactic stage. Commander Tanaka, overseeing the integration of Xylarian forces in Asia, reflected on how much had changed. We went from fighting for survival to inheriting the mantle of an ancient civilization, he told Olivia. The question is, are we ready? Dr. Williams stood before the quantum reactor, its light now pulsing in harmony with both human and Xylarian technology. We're ready, he said firmly. We proved that when we united to defend our home. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together. Admiral Petrov issued his final order of the war. To all Earth forces and our new Xylarian allies, stand ready. Our victory has earned us more than peace, it has earned us a place among the stars. And with it, the responsibility to defend not just our world, but all worlds against what lurks in the darkness between galaxies. As the quantum reactor's light reached out to the stars, humanity prepared for its next great challenge. They had survived their trial by fire, proven their worth, and inherited the legacy of an ancient civilization. The war was over, but humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning.